What's it like to be a comedian in 2016?
It's the exact same way as it was in 2006 and in 1996. It's a completely exaggerated. They make it seem like you walk into the club and there's people out there with signs and they're throwing
like in the
stuff
Middle
at
East.
you.
Yeah.
They aren't. It's just completely media manufactured. Like, you could literally genetically alter the food. You can create a heroin epidemic. They're not going to bring that up. But if you do a Caitlyn Jenner joke every night for 2 years and one person complains, there's a chance that they'll blow it up. It's basically like lazy journalism. It's an easy story. And, you know, and then the people who get offended they're childish people. They're not adults. Because they'll sit there and they'll let 100 subjects goes by and it's all a joke, and then it gets to their neck of the woods, and then all of a sudden it's a statement, and you're up there like, you know, getting legislation enacted for some sort of law to make their life more miserable, whatever their point is.
It's funny, and I thought it would be a great bit, because the bit is actually two straight guys. You can't have that fucking moment of like, yeah, you know, I was worried about you.
Right.
You can't have it. You get all weird, like, dude, get the fuck away from me. Like, you're just not allowed to have that moment.
So in the bit,
but it has nothing to do with gay people. But then that knee-jerk reaction is, oh, you said that word, let's look it up on the chart. Oh, that means this and it means that, and now you have to go on TV because on the chart it means you meant that when you said it.
But when you did that bit, it was really criticizing yourself for not being able to accept some sensitivity from another guy.
That's why guys drop dead at like 50 from like 40 years of not being able to admit a puppy's cute. You just got to keep pushing it down. And it's actually, it's a weakness. But the question Liz asked is the way they should go about it when shit like that happens, rather than having one guy who got offended be like, he said this is exactly what he said, and this is what the fuck it meant. Apologize. Here's your podium.
Everything they say, the good, the bad, and the fucking horrific. They stick a star on your forehead. You're a big boy. There's people like me. You get on with your life. You go to college, you get a master's degree in English like this redneck dude had. He invents the new duck whistle, or whatever the hell you call it. All right? Yours goes whack, whack. Mine goes whack, a fucking whack. Dude makes $1 zillion, gets his own TV show. He's loving life. And out of nowhere, here comes that same question 60 years later from Sunday school, and he stands up like the Manchurian Candidate. Jesus likes hookers and lepers, doesn't like the queers. And everybody freaks the fuck out. And he's like, oh, that's what they said. And they're all dead. Oh, where'd everybody go? I thought I was a good boy. This might be the most arrogant thing I say all night, but I actually resent the fact that I'm going to get judged someday. Like, if that's true, that somebody's going to judge me, like, doesn't even make any sense. It's like, dude, you made me, so this is your fuck up, all right? Let's not try to turn this around on me, you know? Jesus Christ. You give me freedom of choice, you make whores, you have me suck at math, and you don't think this thing's going to go off the rails? Like, you set me up to fail, and now you got the balls to now question your own goddamn work. Dude, if I made a car, if I built a car and it didn't run, I wouldn't, like, burn it forever. You evil piece of shit, light it on fire. I wouldn't. I would troubleshoot. Is there gas in the engine? Is the battery charged? Anything beyond this, I got to get a real man to look at it. But I believe in you.
No, I mean, I don't think any of them are honest. Like, look, I'll say this, though. Like, just the stuff that they focus on. You know what I mean? There's a guy from Nestle that doesn't think water is a human right. I mean, that guy should be hunted down and shot. Yeah. Right? And they're going to sit and just talk about, talking about all the, I don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, we got to get America back to work.
It's like, dude, this guy wants to own the rain. Can we do something about this guy? He was at Nestle. You're supposed to be happy, like making cocoa for people. And this guy's like going, well, people are running out of water. What if we owned all the water and we kept it under our place? And in the future, when everybody's, that's how you picture the guy talking. I want to own the water. I want to have it underneath my house. And just, I'll come to the door in a robe, slightly ajar. Right? It's a complete animal. What kind of person, like, thinks that way? These people that, you know what I mean? You got, like...
So you're worried about that? You're worried about this environmental stuff? You really are worried about it?
I am and I'm not. I just also feel like, you know, it'd probably be a good thing if most of us died.
Conventions? Republican convention? Democratic convention?
No. I think if you watch those, you're an idiot. I don't understand why you would sit there wasting your time. They all say the same thing. They're all like, you know, over the last 4 years, everything good that happened was because of us. And we would have done more good stuff if it wasn't for those guys. And then the Democrats go, oh, we did all the good stuff. It's like you're all working for the same guy. They've been on both horses, and then it just kind of goes. You know, it's not for you, all right? You vote for that guy that says, like, there's a meteor headed right towards the planet. That's the guy you vote for. You go with the psycho, because there's no way there's any corporate money behind that guy, right? Like, that guy is going to come on TV. He's going to come on TV, like, reading files from the Pentagon. Like, you know what else they're doing? Like, just freaking people out.
They didn't appeal to you.
No, they didn't. And I don't understand why everybody's so upset.
Yeah.
You know, like, what's going to happen to you? If you liked Obama, did he call you at all in the last 8 years? Did he ever put a sandwich on your table? You do that. You're going to keep doing that. You're going to be fine.
Right.
Everybody's like, oh, what's he going to? Oh, my God.
I mean, does it concern you?
I don't know. I feel like the president, you only see him like once every 3 weeks. You know? It'd be like if you were dating a chick and if she was a jerk, but you only saw her once every 3 weeks. There's like no way she could break your heart, you know?
What?
No, it's you gotta see people they're day to day.
Yeah. Well, what do you think his presidency is going to be like? You know, a forecast for us. What's it going to be like?
I have no idea. I have no idea. All I know is the other one used to go to those Bilderberg meetings, you know, where they'll dress up like yaks and have those eyes wide shut parties. So I didn't know what she was going to do.
Wait, Hillary Clinton?
Oh yeah.
What are you talking about?
That meeting they have underneath the mountain.
Here in New York for a while.
Yes, I did.
Did you pay attention to the election? We got a new mayor here. Bloomberg is up.
I didn't even know there was an election. I honestly don't. I don't pay attention at all. You know.
It's funny.
Bankers get bonuses of anywhere. The upper echelon get from like 10 million up to 100 million, and the president of the United States makes like 400 grand a year. So right there, I watched enough wrestling to see a rigged game, and you know, there's like people with YouTube channels making as much as the leader of the free world. So I just think he's set up to be bribed, and you act accordingly. So basically anybody who comes at me going these you know, the conservative right or these liberals, like, I just zone out. I can't even talk to you if you're actually still looking at it like those are two choices that you're getting. You're not. It's the same. Once you get past a certain level, it just seems like it's you know,
all the same.
Yeah, you've jumped in the river. And you act accordingly, or you get that convertible ride in Dallas.
What did he do? He told other people what to invent? I want my entire music collection in that phone. Get on it! Right? And then these poor, nameless, faceless scientists got to go in a back room and figure it out. How the fuck are we going to get all of this into this? I mean, what year does this guy think this is? This is crazy. This is like Buck Rogers. Dude, my kid has a birthday in like 11 months. Steve Jobs just walking by. I don't hear any thinking going on in there. Just strutting around the office, eating some pretentious fruit like a pear. Right? Just throwing out ideas. There's another one. There's another one I just came up with on the way to work. I was reading a magazine the other day, turning pages, you know. I like to turn pages on a screen that aren't even there. Yeah, wrap your fucking heads around that, guys!
In the last 7 to 8 years, I began to develop a different comic voice and a different perspective. You know, stand-up comedy is a low art. It's a vulgar art. It's an art of the people. It's not.
But it's an art.
But it is an art. It has. Now, I appreciate it. Something else I'm getting tired of is all this stupid bullshit we have to listen to all the time about children. It's all you hear in this country. Children. Help the children. What about the children? Save the children. You know what I say? Fuck the children. Fuck them. They're getting entirely too much attention. And I know what you're thinking. You say, Jesus, he's not going to attack children, is he? Yes, he is. He's going to attack children. And remember, this is Mr. Conductor talking. I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. I also know all you single dads and soccer moms who think you're such fucking heroes aren't going to like this, but somebody's got to tell you for your own good, your children are overrated and overvalued. You've turned them into little cult objects. You have a child fetish, and it's not healthy. And don't give me that weak shit. Well, I love my children. Fuck you. Everybody loves their children. Doesn't make you special. John Wayne Gacy loved his children. Kept them all right out in the yard near the garage. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is this constant, mindless yammering in the media, this neurotic fixation that somehow everything has to be revolved around children. It's completely out of balance. Listen, there are a couple of things about kids you have to remember. First of all, they're not all cute, okay? In fact, if you look at them close, some of them are rather unpleasant looking. And a lot of them don't smell too good either. The little ones in particular seem to have a kind of urine and sour milk combination or something. Stay with me on this. The sooner you face it, the better off you're going to be. Second premise, not all children are smart and clever. Got that? Kids are like any other group of people. A few winners, a whole lot of losers. There are a lot of loser kids out there who simply aren't going anywhere. And you can't save them all. You can't save them all. You got to let them go. You got to cut them loose. You got to stop overprotecting them because you're making them too soft. Today's kids are way too soft. For one thing, there's too much emphasis on safety. Child-proof medicine bottles and fireproof pajamas, child restraints and car seats and helmets, bicycles, skateboard, baseball helmets. Kids have to wear helmets now for everything but jerking off. Grown-ups have taken all the fun out of being a kid just to save a few thousand lives. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. What's happening is, all right, what's happening, you know what it is? These baby boomers, these soft, fruity baby boomers, are raising an entire generation of soft, fruity kids who aren't even allowed to have hazardous toys, for Christ's sakes. Hazardous toys. Shit, whatever happened to natural selection? Survival of the fittest. The kid who swallows too many marbles doesn't grow up to have kids of his own. Simple as that. Simple. Nature knows best. We're saving entirely too many lives in this country of all ages. Nature should be allowed to do its job of killing off the weak and sickly and ignorant people without interference from airbags and batting helmets. Just think of it as passive eugenics, okay? Now, here's another example of overprotection. Did you ever notice on the TV news, every time some guy with an AK-47 strolls onto a schoolyard and kills 3 or 4 kids and a couple of teachers, the next day, the school is overrun with counselors and psychiatrists and grief counselors and trauma therapists trying to help the children cope. Shit, when I was in school, someone came to our school and killed 3 or 4 of us. We went right on with our arithmetic. 35 classmates minus 4 equals 31. We were tough. I say if kids can handle the violence at home, they ought to be able to handle the violence in school. I'm not worried about guns in school. You know what I'm waiting for? Guns in church. That's going to be a lot of fun. And it'll happen. You watch. Some nut will go fucking ape shit in the church, and they'll refer to him as a disgruntled worshiper. Here's another bunch of ignorant shit. School uniforms. Bad theory. The idea that if kids wear uniforms to school, it helps keep order. Don't these schools do enough damage making all these kids think alike? Now they're going to get them to look alike, too? And it's not a new idea. I first saw it in old newsreels from the 1930s, but it was hard to understand because the narration was in German. One more. Thank you. One more item about children, and that is this superstitious nonsense that blames tobacco companies for kids who smoke. Listen, kids don't smoke because a camel in sunglasses tells them to. They smoke for the same reasons adults do, because it relieves anxiety and depression. And you'd be anxious and depressed, too, if you had to put up with these pathetic, insecure, striving, anal, yuppie parents who enroll you in college before you're old enough to know which side of the playpen smells the worst. And then they fill you full of Ritalin and drag you all over town in search of meaningless structure. Little League, Cub Scouts, swimming, soccer, karate, piano, bagpipes, watercolors, witchcraft, glass blowing, and dildo practice. They even have play dates, for Christ's sakes. Playing is now done by appointment. Whatever happened to you show me your wee-wee and I'll show you mine? Hey, no wonder kids smoke. It helps. Not as much as weed, but hey, you can't have everything. You know it's true. Parents are burning these kids out on structure. I think every day all children should have 3 hours of daydreaming. Just daydreaming. You could use a little of it yourself, by the way. Just sit at the window, stare at the clouds. It's good for you. If you want to know how you can help your children, leave them the fuck alone.